Hello, Namaskar. Today we are going to discuss the Bohr's atomic model. And before I discuss the Bohr's atomic model, I would like to discuss about the failure of Rutherford's model of an atom. We know Rutherford given the atomic model, and he was failed to explain the stability of an atom and the hydrogen spectrum. That's why the Bohr came and he proposed a new atomic model. So what is the reason why the Rutherford's model is fail? So the reasons are he was unable to explain the stability of an atom, and second is the hydrogen spectrum. Okay, we will discuss about the hydrogen spectrum in my next video, but we know already about the spectrum of light. We will discuss a little about this, and I'm discussing about this stability of atom. So we know that in an atom the positively charged protons are situated in the center, and electron which possess the negative charge revolve around the nucleus. According to Rutherford's model, the electron revolve around the nucleus. Okay, so according to Maxwell, whenever a charged particle revolve around another charged particle, oppositely charged particle, it will radiate some energy. Okay, and the electrons are moving, so electron possess the energy for movement, that is called kinetic energy, which is equal to half mv square. So if it release this kinetic energy, the velocity will decrease, and this electron get the negative acceleration, and finally it collapse with the nucleus. So he was unable to explain the stability of an atom when electron revolve around the nucleus or proton. Okay, now what is the hydrogen spectrum? So I'll tell you about the hydrogen spectrum a little. That is, when the light pass through a hydrogen gas, the electron get energy, they become excited, and when they lose energy, the energy released by an atom is we get in the form of a spectrum, that may be a emission spectrum or absorption spectrum. We'll get a colorful line or a black line that we will discuss later on, but the Rutherford's model was unable to explain this hydrogen spectrum. Now what is the Bohr's atomic model? So we know that we have already discussed in the class 9th that the atom consists of a small heavily positive charged nucleus in the center of an atom, and electron revolve around it in a circular orbit. This is the first postulated of Bohr's model. Rutherford also said that the atom consists of a small heavily positively charged nucleus in the center of an atom, and electron revolve around in it in a circular orbit. So what is new in the Rutherford's model? So Rutherford said that the electron revolve around the nucleus in a fixed circular path. Okay, the circular path in which the electron are revolving, those are fixed. Okay, they are revolving around a fixed circular path, and those circular paths are also known as energy level or stationary state. Why they are known as energy level? Because each circular path in which the electrons are revolving, those electrons possess an equal amount of energy. Okay, and the energy of these energy of these levels are fixed. Okay, so these orbit have fixed value of energy. We can say the constant energy, or they have a constant energy. The radius is also constant. That's why they are called stationary orbit. In a simple language, we can understand this like this is an atom, this is the nucleus which is positively charged, and electron revolve on in this orbit, this orbit, this orbit, and this orbit. So these orbits are called energy level or stationary state because they are fixed. This is for the first energy level, this is second energy level, third energy level, fourth energy level. Electron either stay here or here or here or here. Electron will not move in this space. You can see this space. Electron will not move in this space. Electron will remain moving in the orbit only, stationary state only, in this fixed circular path only, not here, not here. They will either revolve in this circular path or this circular path or this circular path or this circular path. Okay, like you can see, this is a staircase. You know, when you are moving in a staircase, you can step here or here or here. You cannot move in this portion. This is the difference between two steps. Okay, you can step here or here. You cannot step in this portion. Okay, this is the gap between two steps. So electron will be staying here or here. Okay, this is the K shell, this is the shell, this is also shell, this is the first shell, this is second shell, third shell. Electron will stay here or here, not in this portion. Okay, so that's why they are called stationary state, stationed. Electron will station here. So these are called stationary state. The electron possesses a definite energy. Energy of each electron which is present in different orbit have different energy, and they have a fixed energy. That's why these are also known as energy level. The first shell, the first circular path are known as K shell. The first n is equal to shell or orbit. So the first shell is known as K shell, the second shell is known as L shell, third shell is known as M shell, and the fourth shell is known as N shell. Okay, so I'm clear about this. These orbital have fixed value of energy or constant energy. Okay, the radius, what do you mean by radius? Radius means the distance of the electrons and the nucleus. Okay, the center of the atom and the electron is called radius, the distance between the electron and nucleus. So the radius of the K shell is fixed, the radius of L shell is fixed, the radius of M shell is fixed, and the radius of N shell is also fixed. So they have a fixed radius and constant energy. This is the first postulate of Bohr's model of an atom. Now coming to the second postulate of the Bohr's model of an atom. So Bohr said that the orbit of an electron does not change unless energy is added or removed. Okay, means the electron will move in a same path in which it was revolving. Okay, suppose electrons are revolving in K shell, it will remain in the K shell. Either we are not giving any energy to the electron. If the electron is present in the K shell, it will be remain in the K shell. If the electron is present in the L shell, it will be remain in the L shell. Electron move in the same path in which it was revolving. Okay, but it can move from one energy level to another energy level. So how it will move from one energy level to another energy level? Suppose this energy level has high energy, this energy level has low energy. Electron of this energy level has energy equal to this level. Okay, so if it want to move in this energy level, it need to take energy. So it will gain energy. Okay, so energy need to be added. So if energy is added, electron will jump from lower to higher energy level, or if energy is loses, electron jump from higher to lower n. Okay, the energy of KLMN, the energy of this shell, increases when we move far away from the nucleus. It means the K shell has lowest energy, L shell has more than K, energy more than K, the energy of M shell is more than L, and energy of N shell is more than M. So K has lowest energy. Okay, so if electron is moving from K to L, it need more energy to stay in the L shell. It will gain energy. Energy is added. if the electron is coming from L to K, it jump from L to K. L has more energy, K has less energy. It want to jump, so it need to lose energy. Okay, वो energy lose करेगा क्योंकि K shell की energy है कम. Okay, energy is loses if electron jump from higher end to lower end. So look at this picture, you can easily understand this. This is the lower energy level, n is equal to 1. Okay, K shell है ये, this is n is equal to 2. ये second energy level है, suppose ये m shell है. Okay, so electron is revolving in the n is equal to 1 shell K shell. Okay, अगर उसे 2 shell में जाना है तो क्या करेंगे, energy need to be added. तो energy add किया, it will jump to higher energy level. Okay, if it is present in the n is equal to 2 shell जिसकी एनर्जी ऑलरेडी ज़्यादा है, इसकी एनर्जी ऑफ E2, n is equal to 2, energy is E2, n is equal to 1, energy is E1 and E2 is more than E1. ओके, तो क्या करेगा, इलेक्ट्रॉन विल लूज एनर्जी इफ इट जम्प टू n is equal to 1. ओके, और दोनों शेल के बीच का ये जो बैरियर है, ये एनर्जी डिफरेंस है, दैट इज कॉल्ड डेल्टा ई. ये जो डिफरेंस है दैट इज कॉल्ड डेल्टा ई. तो इतना डेल्टा ई जितना एनर्जी इस इलेक्ट्रॉन को चाहिए टू मूव फ्रॉम लोअर एनर्जी लेवल टू अपर एनर्जी लेवल और अपर एनर्जी लेवल टू लोअर एनर्जी लेवल. अगर वो नीचे आएगा, लोअर एनर्जी लेवल पे आएगा, तो इतना एनर्जी डेल्टा ई के बराबर एनर्जी लूज़ कर देगा. अगर वो अपर एनर्जी लेवल पे जाएगा तो डेल्टा ई के बराबर एनर्जी गेन करेगा. एनर्जी नीड टू बी एडेड इफ इट जम्प फ्रॉम लोअर टू हायर, एनर्जी will be released if it jump, electron will jump from higher to lower. This is the second postulate of Bohr's atomic model. Now coming to the third postulate. Third postulate is very important. Okay, have you ever heard the momentum? What do you mean by momentum? जानते हो momentum क्या होता है? mv p momentum. In the junior class you have learned about this momentum. M into v is momentum when an object is moving in a linear condition. But if any object is revolving in a circle, तो in that case we are not taking only momentum, हम लेते हैं momentum with respect to radius, because ये तो this is called linear momentum. Okay, तो ये momentum होगा mv. बट वो तो सर्कल में घूम रहा है, वो सीधे थोड़ी जा रहा है. यहाँ पे आया फिर टर्न हो गया, फिर यहाँ पर आया फिर टर्न हो गया, फिर यहाँ पर आया फिर टर्न हो गया. तो सर्कुलर मोशन के केस में वी आर नॉट टेकिंग ओनली मोमेंटम, वी आर टेकिंग एंगुलर मोमेंटम. हम क्या लेते हैं, एंगुलर मोमेंटम. एंगुलर मोमेंटम होता है mvr. एंगुलर मोमेंटम को L से रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं. एंगुलर मोमेंटम इज रिप्रेजेंटेड बाय L और विच इज इक्वल टू mvr. ओके, so what is the third postulate of Bohr? Bohr said that electron revolve only in those circular orbit for which the angular momentum is integral multiple of h upon 2 pi. Integral multiple of h upon 2 pi. Okay, electron revolve only those circular orbit which has angular momentum equal to integral multiple of h upon 2 pi. Okay, इलेक्ट्रॉन सिर्फ उसी ऑर्बिट में रिवॉल्व करेगा जिसके लिए एंगुलर मोमेंटम की वैल्यू कितनी होगी, h अपॉन 2 पाई. उसका इंटीग्रल मल्टीपल होगा, इंटीजर नंबर. ओके, मीन्स 1 2 3 4. तो L इज इक्वल टू NH अपॉन 2 पाई Okay, so this L is equal to NH upon 2 pi. What is N? N is a integer number. N is actually shell number and shell start from 1 2 3 4. So N is equal to 1 2 3 4 5. That is an integer number. Okay, so according to Bohr's, this angular momentum, this mvr is equal to NH upon 2 pi. This H is a constant, 2 pi is also constant. So overall this h upon 2 pi is a constant value and that is a integral multiple of h upon 2 pi. nh upon 2 pi is an integral multiple, okay, of this n. So angular momentum is integral multiple of this h upon 2 pi. So mvr is equal to nh upon 2 pi. Okay, so electron revolve only those circular orbit which have angular momentum equal to nh upon 2 pi. Okay, this is called Bohr's quantization condition. Quantized means fixed. So the orbit have fixed momentum, angular momentum, and electron would revolve only those space only. So this is those circular path only. That's why this is called quantization condition. What is H? H is Planck constant. We have discussed the Planck quantum theory. If you have not discussed, I'll show my video to you. Not now. You can see later on. So H is a Planck constant. Planck was a scientist, and H is equal to 6.626 into 10 to the minus 34 joule per second, joule second or joule hertz. Okay. So this angular momentum is equal to nh upon 2 pi. If n is equal to 1, mvr is equal to h upon 2 pi. If this n is equal to 2, the angular momentum will be 2h upon 2 pi. If for the third shell calculating the angular momentum, it will be 3h upon 2 pi. Okay, so overall 1, 2, 3, these are the integer number. Okay, and into h upon 2 pi is equal to mvr for that particular shell or orbit. Okay, so angular momentum of an electron is quantized. Quantized means fixed value. Okay, value are mvr is equal to nh upon 2 pi. Electron can move only those space which have the value of angular momentum of this nh upon 2 pi. This is the third postulate. Now coming to the fourth postulate, okay, that is the Bohr said, we cannot say the postulate, we can say that this is the top point of the Bohr's model. So Bohr said that while revolving, the electron feels an electrostatic force that is between electron and nucleus, okay, which provide a centripetal force. Have you heard the centripetal force ever? सुना होगा आपने centripetal force. जब कोई भी चीज़, if any object, those have charge, one is revolving around the another oppositely charged particle, then there is an electrostatic force of attraction between them, which is the cause of the force generated between them, which is called centripetal force. Okay, so he said while revolving, the electrostatic force between electron and nucleus provides centripetal force FCP. Okay, now we know that when a highly moving particle revolve around the stationary oppositely charged particle or a center, okay, so it will feel a centrifugal force also. Centrifugation you have heard in the previous class 9, centrifugation. So there is a centrifugal force also when anything revolve around the center rapidly. So that is called centrifugal force. Centripetal force is toward the center, centrifugal force is away from the center. And according to Bohr, the centripetal and centrifugal force are equal. That's why electron, it move in a fixed orbit, not electron moving here or here. Okay, not it will gaining any positive, it is gaining any positive acceleration, not it is gaining any negative acceleration. It will move in a stationary path only. Okay, if it loses or gains energy, then only it will jump from one energy level to another energy level. Okay, so electron loses or gain energy while moving from one energy level to another is known as delta E, as we have already discussed. This is the fifth point or fifth postulate of Bohr's, that is saying that electron loses or gains energy while moving from one energy level to another energy level. Delta E is equal to E final minus E initial. Okay, this is the final stage where the electron goes. This is the initial stage where was the electron staying. Okay, so E delta E is equal to E final minus E initial. भाई फाइनल कहाँ पहुँचा और वो कहाँ से आया, जहाँ से आया वो E इनिशियल, उसकी एनर्जी उस शेल की एनर्जी E इनिशियल, और जहाँ पे पहुँचा उस शेल की एनर्जी E फाइनल. तो जितनी एनर्जी उसको चाहिए दैट इज़ कॉल्ड डेल्टा E. मतलब इतनी एनर्जी या तो वो लूज़ करेगा या वो गेन करेगा. वो किसके बराबर है भाई, फाइनल स्टेज से इनिशियल स्टेज को माइनस कर दो. और एनर्जी जो होती है वो तो फिक्स्ड होती है, क्वांटाइज्ड होती है. ओके, एनर्जी चेंज थोड़ी होती है. तो व्हाट इज़ द वैल्यू ऑफ एनर्जी? एनर्जी की वैल्यू है एच सी बाय लैम्डा. एनर्जी की वैल्यू क्या होगी? एच सी बाय लैम्डा. तो दिस डेल्टा ई इज इक्वल टू एच सी बाय लैम्डा एंड दिस डेल्टा ई, दिस एनर्जी इज़ फिक्स्ड एंड क्वांटाइज्ड. ये फिक्स्ड होगी. फिक्स्ड कैसे होगी कि ये एक एनर्जी लेवल है और ये दूसरा एनर्जी लेवल है, ये n इज इक्वल टू 1 है, ये n इज इक्वल टू 2 है. तो इन दोनों के बीच का डिफरेंस डेल्टा ई फिक्स होगा. ठीक है, अगर ये n इज इक्वल टू 2 होता और ये n इज इक्वल टू 3 होता तो इन दोनों के बीच का डिफरेंस भी डेल्टा ई जो है वो भी फिक्स होता. तो सारे एनर्जी लेवल के बीच का डिफरेंस फिक्स होगा. ओके, और वो कितना होगा? वो होगा डेल्टा ई. और डेल्टा ई एक्चुअली एनर्जी ही है. तो दिस एनर्जी इज इक्वल टू एच सी बाय लैम्डा. दिस इज. Now, what is the actual fifth postulate of Bohr's model? The fifth postulate of Bohr model said that wavelength of radiation emitted by an atom depend on the energy differences of initial and final orbit. Okay, हम ये जानते थे डेल्टा इज इक्वल टू एच सी बाय लैम्डा, ई फाइनल माइनस ई इनिशियल. एंड what the Bohr said that this lambda wavelength, this wavelength of radiation emitted by an atom emitted by an atom or electron depend on the energy difference of initial and final. So we can write like this: hc by lambda is equal to E final minus E initial. 1 upon lambda is equal to 1 upon hc E final minus E initial. So these are the 5 postulates of Bohr's atomic model. I am taking a quick recap, then we will move for the formula for radius, velocity and energy. So the first postulate of Bohr's model is atom consists of a small heavily positively charged nucleus in the center of an atom and electron revolve around it in a circular path. And these circular paths are known as energy level or stationary state because these orbits have fixed value of energy or they have constant energy. Also they have a constant radius. These levels are called KLMN. K is of initial first level and N is a fourth level. Energy of K is less, lowest, and energy increases when we move far from the nucleus. Okay. The second postulate of Bohr said the orbital of an electron does not change unless energy is added or removed. Electron will move in a same path in which it was revolving. It will jump from lower to higher n if energy is added. It will jump from higher to lower n if energy is loses. Okay. And the third postulate is electron revolve only in those circular orbit which have the angular momentum is integral multiple of h upon 2 pi. MVR is equal to NH upon 2 pi and electron revolve only those orbit which have this. Okay. Now the fourth postulate is centripetal force is equal to centrifugal force while revolving around the nucleus by an atom, electron, sorry. And the fifth postulate is the wavelength of radiation emitted by an atom depend on the energy difference of initial and final state. Now I am calculating the formula of radius, velocity and energy. In the physics you have complete derivation of this RVE. In the chemistry we will write only the main formula. Okay. So this radius of the electron or energy level in which the electrons are revolving can be calculated by this formula. Rn is equal to A naught n square upon Z. What is n? n is number of shell. What is z? Z is atomic number. Z is atomic number, n is shell number. Okay, what is a0? A0 is fixed constant value, that is 52.9 picometer. Okay, or 0529 angstrom we can write. Actually this can be calculated by this h0 epsilon नॉट अपॉन पाई एम ई स्क्वायर विच इज़ अ कॉन्स्टेंट. ये फिजिक्स में आप पढ़ने वाले हो, केमिस्ट्री में मैं नहीं बताने वाली. ओके, सो दिस आर एन इज इक्वल टू 52.9 एन स्क्वायर अपॉन जेड. So for hydrogen atom Z is equal to 1, so we can write Rn is equal to 52.9 n square. For hydrogen like atom, the Rn radius of nth shell, n is shell, radius of nth shell is equal to 59.9 n square upon Z. You can calculate the radius with the help of this formula. Okay, and this is radius in picometer. Now this is radius in picometer. Now in the angstrom you can calculate like this: Rn is equal to 0.53 n square upon Z. Okay, 0.529 की जगह 0.53 ले लिया, आप 0.529 भी ले सकते हो, आपकी मर्जी. Now second is velocity. The velocity of electron can be calculated like this: Vn is equal to V naught Z upon n. Z is atomic number, n is number of shell. Okay, so Vn is equal to 2.18 into 10 raised to the power 8 Z upon n centimeter per second, or Vn is equal to 2.18 into 10 raised to the power 6 Z upon n meter per second. जनरली ये जो 10 की पावर है ना, इसमें गलती कर देते हैं, सेंटीमीटर और मीटर का ध्यान नहीं रखते हैं. मीटर है तो 10 raised to the power 6 और सेंटीमीटर 10 raised to the power 8. ठीक है, ये बहुत माइन्यूट सी गलती जिससे कि हमारा कैलकुलेशन पूरा गलत हो जाता है. ठीक है, और इतने नियर बाय अगर हमारे पास आंसर हो तो हम डेफिनेटली गलती करके आते हैं, तो वहाँ ध्यान रखना है हमें इनकी पावर का. ओके, सो दिस V नॉट is 2.18 into 10 raised to the power 8 सेंटीमीटर पर सेकेंड. V नॉट कहाँ से आया ये भी फिजिक्स में पढ़ने वाले हो, दैट इज़ E स्क्वायर अपॉन 2H एप्सिलॉन नॉट. तो आप फिजिक्स में पढ़ोगे ये, तो अभी हम केमिस्ट्री में नहीं बताने वाले हैं. ओके, तो ये वेलोसिटी हो गया, दिस इज रेडियस. देन वी आर गोइंग टू डिस्कस द एनर्जी ऑफ डिफरेंट एनर्जी लेवल और एनर्जी ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन. एक्चुअली एनर्जी लेवल की तो क्या एनर्जी होती है, इलेक्ट्रॉन की ही एनर्जी होती है, और उस एनर्जी के बराबर ही उस एनर्जी लेवल की एनर्जी होती है. ओके, और इलेक्ट्रॉन की एनर्जी तो नेगेटिव होती है. ठीक है, तो हम जो En लगाएंगे वो नेगेटिव में लगाएंगे. ठीक है, ये फॉर्मूला आपको याद करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. ठीक है, क्योंकि ये फिज़िक्स में आप समझोगे कहाँ से आया, लेकिन मैं आपको बता ही देती हूँ थोड़ा सा, हमें तो ये याद करना है. ठीक है, सो En इज इक्वल टू -2 पाई स्क्वायर me4 Z स्क्वायर अपॉन n स्क्वायर H स्क्वायर. m इज़ मास, E इज़ चार्ज, Z इज़ एटॉमिक नंबर, n इज़ नंबर ऑफ शेल, H इज़ प्लांक कांस्टेंट, पाई आप जानते हो, 2 आप जानते हो, स्क्वायर का मतलब तो आप ऐसे ही समझते हो. ओके, सो En एनर्जी ऑफ nth शेल इज इक्वल टू -21.8 इंटू 10 raised to the power -19 Z स्क्वायर अपॉन n स्क्वायर. ओके, ये तो है फॉर हाइड्रोजन लाइक एटम. ओके, हाइड्रोजन एटम के लिए Z1 हो जाएगा. ओके, तो हम यहाँ पर 21.8 10 raised to the power -19 इंटू 1 अपॉन n स्क्वायर आप कर लोगे. ठीक है, इसको 21.8 की जगह अगर आप इसको 2.18 इंटू 10 raised to the power -18 करके याद करोगे तो इट विल बी ईजी. क्यों? 2.18 10 raised to the power 18, 2.18 10 raised to the power -18. तो ऐसे याद हो जाएगा आपको. ठीक है, ये क्या होता है ये बता देते हैं आपको. दिस इज़ रिडबर्ग कांस्टेंट. इसको रिडबर्ग कांस्टेंट बोलते हैं, RH बोलते हैं इसको. ओके, सो ये जो 2.18 इंटू 10 raised to the power -18 Z स्क्वायर अपॉन n स्क्वायर एनर्जी की वैल्यू है, ये जूल पर एटम में है. इलेक्ट्रॉन पर एटम भी इलेक्ट्रॉन वोल्ट पर एटम भी कैलकुलेट करोगे. ठीक है, जूल को इलेक्ट्रॉन वोल्ट में कन्वर्ट करोगे तो एनर्जी की वैल्यू हो जाएगी -13.6 Z² अपॉन N²। किलो जूल पर मोल में कैलकुलेट करोगे तो वो आ जाएगी -1312 Z² अपॉन N² पर मोल। देखो यूनिट चेंज हो गई है, वैल्यू भी चेंज हो गई है। ठीक है, तो आप ऐसे भी याद कर सकते हो, तीनों याद कर लेना, कन्वर्ट कर लो, एक को याद करके बाकी को कन्वर्ट कर लो तो भी ठीक है। ठीक है, तो ये तो है किसी भी हाइड्रोजन लाइक एटम की। हाइड्रोजन के लिए क्या होगा, Z=1 हो गया ना। ठीक है, तो देखो ओवरऑल इस 2.18 इंटू 10⁻18 की जगह वी कैन पुट RH रिडबर्ग कांस्टेंट, तो En=−RH इंटू Z²/N²। So we can say that the energy is proportional to the -Z²/N². Okay, and for hydrogen En=−RH 1/N². En is proportional to -1/N². Okay, एनर्जी जो है वो शेल के रेसिप्रोकल होती है, उसके स्क्वायर के रेसिप्रोकल होती है। ठीक है, या एनर्जी इज प्रोपोर्शनल टू 1/N², -1/N², माइनस क्योंकि इलेक्ट्रॉन के लिए हम ले रहे हैं। ओके, तो दिस इज ऑल द बोर्स एटॉमिक मॉडल एंड द पोस्टुलेट ऑफ बोर एटॉमिक मॉडल एंड द फॉर्मूला ऑफ रेडियस, वेलोसिटी एंड एनर्जी। डेल्टा ई अगर हम बात करें तो डेल्टा ई भी थोड़ा सा हम देख लेते हैं, ज़्यादा नहीं देखेंगे। डेल्टा ई = HC/λ = क्या हो जाएगा। अब एक एनर्जी लेवल की एनर्जी क्या है, -RH अपॉन, हाइड्रोजन के लिए बात कर रहे हैं हम, N²। ठीक है, और ये है फर्स्ट शेल की एनर्जी N1। ठीक है, ये इनिशियल है, इनिशियल एनर्जी है N1 की, इनिशियल लिख देती हूँ यहाँ पर। ठीक है, और फाइनल की, चलो ये फाइनल की मानते हैं क्योंकि फाइनल माइनस इनिशियल करते हैं। ये फाइनल एनर्जी लेवल है, जब इलेक्ट्रॉन जंप करके फाइनल एनर्जी लेवल पे गया तो उसके लिए एनर्जी की वैल्यू है RH/N²F। ओके, और जो माइनस इनिशियल जो आपकी एनर्जी लेवल है जहाँ से वो जंप करके गया, दैट इज़ RH/Ni²। बाहर में आई लिख देती हूँ इसको। ओके, सो यू कैन टेक RH एज कॉमन। अब ये माइनस माइनस प्लस हो जाएगा। ठीक है, तो आप इसको आगे टर्न करके भी लिख सकते हो, इसको पहले लेके भी लिख सकते हो। ठीक है, तो हमने RH कॉमन निकाला और अंदर क्या बचा, 1/n इनिशियल स्क्वायर माइनस 1/n फाइनल स्क्वायर, और ये है HC/λ के बराबर। ओके, तो ये हमारे पास एक फॉर्मूला और बन गया। यहाँ से एक और फॉर्मूला बना सकते हो, HC को यहाँ ले जाओ तो 1/λ = RH अपॉन HC 1/n इनिशियल स्क्वायर 1/n फाइनल स्क्वायर। ठीक है, और ये लैम्डा = वेव नंबर होता है, तो ये एक और फॉर्मूला बन गया। ठीक है, अब ये भी कांस्टेंट है, ये भी कांस्टेंट है, ये भी कांस्टेंट है, ये सारे कांस्टेंट जो है एक और कांस्टेंट बना लेते हैं जिसको भी रिडबर्ग कांस्टेंट बोलते हैं, लेकिन अब उसको RH की जगह सिर्फ R बोलते हैं। तो ये जो फॉर्मूला हो जाएगा वो इस तरह से हो जाएगा, R 1/n इनिशियल स्क्वायर माइनस n फाइनल स्क्वायर = 1/λ = वेव नंबर। तो ये आपका कंप्लीट एनर्जी बोर मॉडल ट्रांजिशन सब हो गया। एक चीज़ होकर रह गई है, एक्साइटेड स्टेट एंड द ग्राउंड स्टेट, वो भी बता देते हैं, मेरे से मिस हो गया था। सो व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय एक्साइटेड स्टेट। एक्साइटेड स्टेट और ग्राउंड स्टेट, ग्राउंड स्टेट इज़ दैट कंडीशन जहाँ वो इलेक्ट्रॉन जो है स्टेबल कंडीशन में होता है। ओके, और एक्साइटेड स्टेट आफ्टर गेनिंग ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन एनर्जी, वो इलेक्ट्रॉन जब हायर एनर्जी लेवल पे चला जाता है तो उसको एक्साइटेड स्टेट बोलते हैं। इसका डेफिनेशन हम ऐसे देख सकते हैं, then when the electron in an atom are in their lowest normal energy state, they keep on revolving in their respective orbit without losing energy, because energy can neither be lost nor be gained continuously. It is called ground state. An excited state, when the energy is supplied to electron, it will jump to normal energy level to higher energy level, This state of atom is known as excited state. So this is all your Bohr's atomic model. Okay, bye bye. Or I will come with a new video in which we will discuss the next topic. Okay, bye bye.